Hi and welcome to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. First of all, briefly on the game yesterday, great to get a very comfortable win, 4-0 victory over Swansea. It was very comfortable in the end. Good performances by Alex Iwobi, great goal, good to see him again on the score sheet, Giroud. And Alexis Sanchez, another goal, although threw a bit of a strop at the end of the game. Another one of his little tantrums. Listen, I love the guy, but I do wish he'd stop doing this. I think, he's walking off the pitch, for instance, yesterday, and all the fans were singing his name, and he didn't even turn around and just say thanks, which I thought was out of order. And then, listen, we know that Alexis is a guy, he just loves to play football, and that's one of the things we love about him. He just so passionate, and so we know that he wanted to stay on there because he probably sensed that he could get more goals, but the manager was just protecting him yesterday by taking him off, keeping him injury free. We need him for the season, and fair play to him. He came out on Instagram afterwards and said, it was a great win for us and the team and etc. But I do wish he'd stop these little tantrums, because every time he does that, it leads to more rumours. And this is another reason why we need to get this deal tied down, because then the China stuff comes up. It gets linked to Juventus, Bayern, blah, blah, blah. So this is what I'm saying. Arsenal, we need to get this sorted out ASAP. And secondly, please, Alexis, come on. You're a great player. We know you're passionate. You wear your heart in your sleeve. But less of these little tantrums. You know what I mean? You know why you were substituted. Not because, there was any agenda against you. It's because we're trying to keep you injury-free, which we do have a problem with at Arsenal. Now, the big news today is about Arsene Wenger. Is Arsene Wenger on the verge of signing a new contract at Arsenal? Now, there'll be some fans out there who'll be like, guys like Ty and that, who'll be jumping for joy this morning saying fantastic news. There'll be other guys like maybe a DT and that will be like, oh my God, no. But listen, there's a lot of uncertainty around, and it's been around for a while because he's in the last year of his contract. We heard a couple of weeks ago about the whole thing with Mesut Ozil, saying that, he wants to find out what's going on with Arsene Wenger before he signs a new deal. Now, it's been reported today in the Mirror by Steve Stammers. He says that Arsene Wenger's on the verge of signing a new contract. The club will get this deal done. It's going to be a new 2-year deal, and it will be done round about March, round about the international break. And Arsene Wenger will sign and will be our manager again for the next 2 years. Now, we know what it's like. Some people are for it, some people are against it. Should it be a thing that we should wait until the end of the season before we decide on this? There is a lot of uncertainty. What Mesut Ozil, I know DT was very angry with guys like John Cross and what they said in the Mirror, but listen, this, I think, is the reality of what exists at the moment, that players like Mesut Ozil do want to know what's happening with the manager, what's going on. They're about to commit their future. They want to know about the future of the manager and the club going forward. Will it be Arsene Wenger? Will it be a new manager? Will this new manager want me in the system, that he's going to play? Will it be the similar style of football? These are all uncertainties. And is Wenger leaving? Is he staying? Steve Stammers claiming in the Mirror today that he will be staying, new 2-year deal. I'm going to put the question to you guys. Do you think he should get a new contract? Yes or no? Do you think Arsene Wenger, you want him to stay, or do you think he should go? Leave it in the poll we're going to do, and I'll give you the results on that one tomorrow. Moving on, we've been linked today with this guy called Moise Kean. He's 16 years of age, valued at about £10 million, and he's a forward. And now he's managed, when I say managed, his agent is the super agent Mina Riallo. And he recently said, he goes, Moise Kean is the name to watch in 2017. And I'm not just saying that because I'm his agent, he said, right? Yeah, okay. He said, he's 16 and his determination within him is scary. And this guy, very highly thought of. A host of clubs apparently interested. Man United, Chelsea, Manchester City and Arsenal. his agent's doing what good agents do, talking him up. But we'll have to keep an eye out on this one. But he's been linked with Arsenal today. Also a defender, Stefan de Vrij. Stefan de Vrij. Stefan de Vrij, he's 24 years of age, plays for Lazio, previously of Feyenoord. I remember seeing him in the Euros, not a bad player. Lazio said they want about 40 million euros for him. Wow, that's a lot of money. It's amazing how much money now defenders are going for. Defenders used to be a lot cheaper, but now, you know, it's such an inflated market. We saw Mustafi, 35 million. Bailly at Manchester United, 35 million. It's a lot of money for top defenders now. Now, the Italian outlet Corriere della Sera say that Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester United, the usual suspects, have all been linked with this guy, possibly more in the summer than now in January, but we've all been linked with that guy. Now, listen, a central defender, centre-half, we've got Koscielny, we've got Mustafi, we've invested a lot of money in Mustafi. There's still Gabriel there. There's Rob Holding, who, you know, Arsene Wenger's definitely looking to him as like one for the future. There's still Callum Chambers out on loan as well. Don't forget, Middlesbrough is doing a really, really good job at the moment. And that's kind of gone under the radar, but he's been getting rave reviews up there in Middlesbrough. So we're kind of flush with, you know, centre halves. I can't see how Arsenal would then go and spend 40 million euros on this guy unless like somebody like a Mustafi or Koscielny left. And Koscielny's just signed a new contract and Mustafi's a brand new player. So I don't really see that happening whatsoever, but we've been linked with him today. It's basically what's happening at the moment is that a lot of the big stars or a lot of the big prospects out there just get linked with the big clubs. It's just how it is at the moment. And, you know, I really can't see that one happening. Let's get into some of your comments. Andrew Cabasso says, you choose to go to China if you're old, retired and washed out. The English Premier League football is where the ultimate players prove they're legendary. Now, listen, you're probably right when you say that, but this China thing is getting serious. I think, you know, and speaking to a company last week that represents a lot of the football, you know, sort of activity over in China, they're coming after big players in Europe in a real big way. And they will start to get younger players. All right, yeah, they're getting the older guys now. They're obviously going after big names like Tevez and people like that. But with the sort of money that they're offering players, I mean, I don't think it will take long before they start getting younger players. I mean, they got that guy Texeria, who was on the verge of joining Liverpool and decided to go to China instead for ridiculous money. They're starting to, you know, get a lot of players like that. Now, if you're a young player, for instance, let's just think about this for a minute, and you're about 21, 22, and you're playing okay, and they come in and they offer you some ridiculous money, say £400,000 a week. You could say to yourself, I'll go there for 2 years, even if it don't work out, even if I don't like it, I'll come back and I'll be 25. I can still find a club in Europe. So I think that the Chinese thing is definitely a threat. Yes, it is older players at the moment, but I think in the future, if they keep spending the sort of money that they're spending and more players go there and it gets more and more established, it's going to be a serious threat to all the leagues in Europe. Mullenem says, we have to buy Payet, Perisic and put Sanchez through the middle. Dave S says, why bang on about Payet? He's a mercenary and we don't want players like that. Remember Van Persie and Fabregas, etc. Listen, he is a mercenary. I think, you know, what he's doing at the moment is disgusting to the West Ham fans. You know, we've had it, like you said, with Fabregas. We've had it with Van Persie in particular. It's really horrible for the fans, but I don't think a lot of players nowadays, if I'm being really honest, care about fans. Fans are way down their pecking order, and that's the sad thing about it. And the only people, I always say this, the only people that really truly support a football club is the fans. I mean, you know, we drove, like, you know, was it an 8-9 hour round trip to Swansea yesterday. And there's still a couple of players, Alexis included, who just walked off of that pitch without even turning round to say thumbs up to the fans who were singing his name. So, listen, football is becoming very mercenary when it comes to players. That's a simple fact. That's what it is. Now, if a guy like Dimitri Payet is available, he will bring exceptional quality, which Arsene Wenger's always saying, to the Arsenal team. I don't think he'll throw his toys out of the pram because he's going to be round other really big players. At West Ham, he knows he's the biggest player, the biggest name, so he can get away with it. I don't think he'd be able to do that when he's in the company of Alexis, of Ozil, Petr Cech, people like this that are, you know, are very experienced players and they're all big players in their own right. So for me, if it was a decent price, I would still go and get Dimitri Payet. Yes, what he's doing at the moment is wrong, but you know what? It didn't affect Van Persie's performance at Manchester United when he was a mercenary at Arsenal. You know, it didn't affect Fabregas's performance when he went to Barcelona when he was being mercenary at us. And at the end of the day as well, on the players aspect of it, clubs are very mercenary as well. When you look at Dimitri Payet, when he was playing for Marseille, he didn't want to leave Marseille, right? Marseille sold him. They said to him, listen, sorry, you got to go because we need the money. So listen, it works both ways, but I don't like what Dimitri Payet is doing at the moment. But listen, if he's available, this is how football runs, we should get him. What do you guys think? And don't forget to vote in that Arsene Wenger poll. Thanks for watching the show, and we'll be back around about the same time tomorrow.